Hi, welcome to Bothering the Band. We have a great episode. We have a band called Almost Sex. Cool band name, right, Abby?
Sure is.
We either discovered this band via an Instagram algorithm or one of those moments where you let Spotify play. It runs out of whatever you're listening to, and the next band up is Almost Sex. Either way, they're very good. They have a remarkable story. Nick and Warren, they met on a dating app during the pandemic. One's a poet, one's a musician. With their powers combined, they did like a little Captain Planet. Now they're making great music, and they're on Bothering the Band. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Bothering the Band.
Thank you.
Hello, what's going on? How are you?
I'm doing well. My name is Ryan. This is the producer extraordinaire, Abigail.
Hi.
Thank
Hi,
you
Abigail.
for doing this.
I'm Warren.
And I'm Ken.
Cool.
Nick could not be with us tonight, unfortunately. But
Oh, bummer. Okay.
he was too bothered.
He's like, oh, they're switching up times and shit. Okay, so we're ready if you're ready.
I'm so ready.
Ready?
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. And all other interviews and press after this will pale in comparison.
I'm sure. Hell yeah.
So first of all, where are you? How are you? And where are you?
Well, how we are, I'll start off by addressing that. I'm doing really good. I know, Warren, you're doing okay. We just had like a photo thing yesterday, so we're kind of just feeling stuff, kind of getting into, how the band looks, how it sounds. Me and Warren, we don't rarely get the chance to work on music without Nick, so tonight we've been doing that a little bit, and it's been really interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I'm great. What was the other question?
Where are you?
Where? Oh, I live here with Nick, the one who's not here. We're in our little makeshift music studio. In our apartment in Crown Heights in Brooklyn. And Ken lives just like
Just a million
20 minutes
miles
south of
away.
us.
Yeah, depending on if you're traveling at light speed or not. It's either 10 minutes or 10 hours. But no, I'm down in Brooklyn as well, just in like Flatbush, Ditmas Park area. So just up in Crown Heights for now.
Very cool. I stayed in Ditmas Park for a summer. I know New York very well. Crown Heights. One of my best buds lives in Crown Heights. We have gotten a lot of flack for past episodes going to New York because I am a New Yorker. I love New York. And we've had some episodes where it's just that's all we skew everything, and that's what
Yeah,
we
I'm
talk
sure.
about. Speaking of questions, we're gonna skip some of the funny relationship questions.
Why ever?
Still do that.
Nick, you can still ask them. I will answer for Nick very
Yeah.
happily.
Okay.
I have a sweet commentary on all that
Yeah.
stuff. So.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe
Ken
this is even better.
It probably is. Ken has had a very special insight to the lows, highs, and like literally everything else in our relationship.
Yeah.
Right before you got on, I was we were doing the intro, and just it's a cool story, and so it's everywhere. The story is everywhere, so we tend to go different directions. So right off the bat, because we mentioned it, who takes out the garbage, who does the dishes, or lack thereof?
Okay.
Yeah.
I have not taken out the garbage once since we moved here. So Nick takes out the garbage. Ken has probably taken out the garbage
I've taken out the garbage once or twice.
more than me.
Yeah.
And I don't cook. So Nick cooks, so I do dishes. But with that, like I thought I was a night owl until I met Nick. He will make his lunch, which is my dinner. So he'll cook like his first meal, around 7 or 8-ish. And we'll eat together, and then I'll do the dishes. And then he makes his dinner at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
because he's just completely nocturnal, basically. And then sometimes I'll wake up and do dishes in the morning because he cooked in the middle of the night without the lights on. So it's like I come out sometimes to just like a dusting of spices all over the kitchen because he cooks without the lights on at 4 a.m. But yeah.
Yeah, the night owl thing. Like I thought I was a night owl, and like I think I still am, but compared to him, it's not even. It's no comparison.
Is he up working, writing, like watching television? What is he doing?
He writes a lot at night, and he also watches probably the bulk of his television at night too. He's just like fully nocturnal. We joke his like spirit animal's a raccoon because he's like always like eating and like wide awake at the fully nocturnal hours.
Okay, well, we have to expand on this. What are your spirit animals?
Oh man.
Oh shit. You know what? I feel like it's difficult because often like what I've been told that I'm bird-esque, which I'm not mad at. I don't feel like on a spiritual level I connect with the bird as much, or you know, those of the bird variety. Not hating, of course, but I don't know. I'd like to think a lion, a tiger, maybe like a, you know, because I'm vicious at times. You know what I mean? No, just kidding.
Just if you like roll cords the wrong way, you see like
yeah, exactly. If you don't coil the cord properly. But I don't know. I wish I had a better answer for that. I think like it's whatever the coolest animal in the world is to me at that time. That's what I'm going to say. But probably a bird most of the time. Yeah. What about you, Warren?
I don't know. I mean, if I talk about both of your animals, I'm a bird for Halloween every year, but a different kind of bird. So I do like birds, and my hair it's never brushed, so my mom would call it like my lion's mane because it's just kind of like, and I'm a Leo.
Or a bird's nest. Or she missed the opportunity there. Maybe she's a bird too.
But I've always liked foxes, so I feel like foxes are cool, and I would like a fox to be my spirit animal, but
I feel like there should be two answers. Going forward, this should be the standard is what you want and what you are.
Yes, you know? Exactly.
I want to be a giraffe, but I'm definitely like a coyote or something.
Okay.
Your next Halloween costume, this is just a little stealing suggestion. My friend Drew, shout out to Drew. She does listen. She lives in Brooklyn as well. She's very creative. She one time was The Birds, the Hitchcock movie.
Oh.
And in her like updo 50s style hair, she had these like pinned seagulls attacking her with like painted. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Yeah.
That's great.
Never forget it.
Man, this year I was thinking about being, and this is a little bit of like a creative twist on it, but in Monty Python, the one, I think it's the Holy Grail, where there's the like woman that has like the bird nose on, and they're talking about the witches that they like float or sink or whatever. So I was thinking about being that version of a bird.
That's like a deep cut. Like if someone knew what you were doing, if you show up to the Halloween party, oh my god.
You can take a bird in so many directions for Halloween.
Yeah. Okay.
You can. That's a good idea. You can take a bird many directions. I was Wes Anderson. I just wore a suit for years in New York because I hated dressing up. And I just wore a suit. And then someone at one point was like, "You look like Wes Anderson." I was like, "Well, that's what I am."
That's it now. Yeah.
So, Abby, what's your spirit animal?
Rabbit.
Yeah, I knew you would have an answer like that.
Yeah. Some people just know. I haven't found many people in the middle. It's like I completely lie and have to admit that I'm lying and that I have one, or they're like that. Like Abby, you were. Like,
right, are you like a domesticated one? Like one of the like big cute fluffy ones? Or are you like, one of the ones that are like in my parents' backyard? Or what is the
not domesticated, definitely not.
Yeah. Wild.
That's a great question, though. We're gonna steal that question.
Yeah.
The domesticated versus wild bunnies. I saw 3 bunnies yesterday. True story.
What?
Bunnies they're like such beautiful little curious creatures. I always imagine them to have like, I don't know if it's just the Alice in Wonderland thing, but I'm always imagining they're in a rush and like late to something. So I'm always like in my head just hearing like them being like, "Hi, I'd like to talk, but I can't." I don't know if they do that, but that's what I'm going to project onto them. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw it. I was with my daughter who's 7, and I freaked out hundreds of times more than she did. I was like, look at the fucking bunnies.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
He's like,
It's
yeah, we
weird.
get it.
I never see bunnies here in the city. I grew up in Pennsylvania. Bunnies everywhere, but no squirrels. And here it's the opposite. I never see
Yeah,
bunnies,
wow.
squirrels everywhere.
They
You know what I
have
used to see?
yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry, Ken.
I was going to say they have a counterpart or foe in New York called the rat, probably. I don't know how rats and bunnies get along, but
And raccoons in Brooklyn. Raccoons in Brooklyn. And Central Park. I used to see them all the time in Central Park. I don't know what I was going to say. I used to see hawks in Washington Square Park.
what?
Yeah,
Okay.
for real.
That's
Google
my
like
type showing
NYC.
up.
Yeah, there you go. Google NYC hawks.
It's
I'll
very
look
weird
that
to
up.
me that seeing things like that is so rare for you guys.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Anytime you see a bird that's not a pigeon, you're like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
Like,
They exist. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Any color, any pop of color, you're like, what?
totally.
Yeah,
We were just
exactly.
talking about doves, kind of really like, what's the real difference between a pigeon and a dove? But somehow, like, doves are fine, pigeons are just like the rats of the sky, you know?
Yeah.
I have a question for you, and I bet you one person, Abby, can answer this crazy question. How come you never see baby pigeons?
Oh.
Hmm.
I don't know,
Like
because the
me.
streets are tough out here and they grow up quickly. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you gotta
You
grow
blink
up.
and sure enough, they've learned the best spots and times to
Huh.
get food.
That's so true.
Maybe they stay.
What if it was like the opposite of a butterfly, where as babies they were just these gorgeous birds that we just like don't see, and then
Yeah.
they just like majorly downgrade to these
they
like
start off life as swans and then
Yeah.
become pigeons. That's
They're gorgeous.
yeah.
ugly doves. Hmm.
Oh, that's funny. How do you guys describe your music?
Oh man, I think that's like, I'm sure you get this a lot. It's always like not a tough question because there's like obvious places that if you're like trying to interest people or you're trying to like, I don't know, create some commonality with someone what they like, you'll be like, oh, it's like this and it's like that, and then it's easy for you to put your finger on what it is. But I struggle with the question just because it's always whatever the newest song is like that's what we're on now, and I think you've probably gathered from listening to our music that there is like an above average level of just like diversity, like just I mean, I'm making us sound way cooler than I think we are, but we like to
More
jump
from
around and
indecisiveness,
stuff.
yeah. There's a lot of
exactly.
range.
Yeah, like the newest song is always like this is what we're on now. But basically, I'd say like maybe like indie pop, indie
Yeah.
folk, particularly the last EP.
Yeah.
But,
Genre's always tough, especially because like you have people that are like real sticklers and then people that don't care. But like the sticklers are like, you can't say indie anymore because it's independent, and then these people aren't all independent. They're saying that they're indie, and it becomes super. It's funny though. I like whenever I see random genres where they're just like made up, like folktronica. Someone said we're folktronica, and I was like,
I like that.
okay, yeah, we can be, we can be folktronica. I'll
totally.
do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
I'm writing
think
that
some people
down.
call us Americana, or we have a bit of Americana in it. And I don't know why, but I don't like that. So
It's not inclusive.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're all kind of arbitrary, but there are ones that definitely feel like they don't rub as wrong of the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. So those, I guess, would be like indie folk.
Yeah, indie folk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so.
And Nick
That
would
makes
say
sense.
pop. Nick would say indie pop, I think.
Okay. We're gonna do a follow-up with just Nick in like a couple months.
Yeah. Which how
And ask
different
the
it is.
same questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell us about pigeons, Nick.
Yeah.
I was going to say two things. One, we always like to ask that question because I feel like the band or musicians give a different answer than writers, journalists, and fans. And then also, this is a true story. It happened. I'm listening first, just liked y'all's band, and I was like, we're going to reach out. And then I was listening recently, and I thought it was a different band, and I had to look at Spotify again. I was like, oh no, it's still them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's a way to keep me on my toes.
Yeah. I think that's also sort of a product of just how we started. Like Nick and I, we obviously we met at the beginning of the pandemic, and we were, I think, writing in a different way than he had ever really written before. And I think I also brought a lot of, I mean, I grew up listening to like bluegrass and folk. My parents both played bluegrass music and stuff. So I think that I originally saw our project going in a different direction and he saw it going in a different direction. But when we were writing, we were trying all of those things out, and we sort of just fell in love with some of the songs, and those were some of the first ones that we put out. So we were like, let's not define it. Let's just like publicly grow and discover and figure out which lane we're swerving into next.
Yeah.
And then obviously bringing Ken was like a whole nother layer, and it's been a big conversation of our project too. And Ken is sort of he coined this term, the vibe compass. So like this last EP was an effort for us to like strictly follow one vibe compass and, you know, have a limited palette of instruments that we're working with and make like a cohesive statement for.
Yeah, totally. I think that's always, like Warren was alluding to, is that I bring a lot of I put a lot of emphasis on cohesion and stuff. Not like, you know, because it has its usefulness to writers and to to that whole end of things, but also to us as artists, because, you know, the more that you do it, I mean, me and Nick have been like in a band. I was in a band with him called Night on the Sun for years and years, and I mean, I went to kindergarten with him. So as soon as you are able to become musically active, I was with him. So so that's been a thing for us, is like we've been able to do these things, and having done music for a while, we're able to sound like this or sound like that. So just because we can doesn't mean we should, and that was something that we've been trying to like bring into focus more, is what do we need to do, not necessarily what can we do competently or something like that. So hopefully that question will be easier to answer for us in the future, or if it's not easier, at least we'll have a better explanation for ourselves.
Yeah.
Or you'll just get more and more confused because you'll keep going down different directions, and it'll be so much fun, and we'll just reap the benefits of it.
That's probably the most likely scenario.
So the name, is there a story behind the name and the capitalization or lack thereof?
That's I never
Taylor
thought about
Swift.
it's
No, the name. So basically, I just like to make lists, and I just have a ton of lists of random things, like things that I hate, things that like other people like that I don't like a name of a sailboat if I would ever have one, if I would ever write a book, the characters' names, like just I just like making lists. I have one of whenever you finish a conversation or argument and there's like that one sentence that you wish you would have said, like I have a list of those. So some of them are just, you know, like I'm probably never going to own a sailboat, and I want to be a bass player, not that secretly, but I like don't play bass, and Ken plays bass, so I'm always like, hey Ken, I'm coming for you. But
I'm scared.
I have this like fantasy of being in like a grunge girl band and playing bass, and I had like a list of what that band would be called, and whenever Nick and I were, you know, first writing, we're like, all right, we got to call this project something, and I was like, I have a list of names, I'll just run through them. And Almost Sex was the first one. And he liked it. And we were also separated, you know, we hadn't met yet, but we've been talking for like 2 months, and we were like falling for each other, but also like, you know, catfishing's thing. And I don't know, it was just sort of like,
totally.
You don't know until you like are in the same room as a person. There's just like so many quantifiable things about people, and it was like we were almost dating, we were almost in a band, but we had never met. So it just fit,
I thought like as an outsider, like before I met Warren and like before I knew about the band or started playing with them, I thought it was like a really like on the nose, like I thought it was like a reference to that, like those things, like it's like Almost Sex or something like that, or like I thought there might be, I didn't ask because I'm not that interested, but I thought there might be like an exact situation that was on, but whatever, it is what it is. I'm happy it came off the list for sure. I am curious as hell though what your sailboat would be named. It was gonna be like
you took the words out.
You know?
So the reason I have so many lists is I have a terrible memory. So it's in my list in my phone.
Oh, so you don't?
Yeah, so I don't know off the top of my head, and I don't know if
probably
you want
like
me to
the
read.
SS. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious, but I guess if you can, mine would be like the SS Birdman. Because now I just know my spirit animal, and I'm dealing with it. The SS Birdman.
Well, that's good.
Bird boat.
Bird boat, yeah.
Bird boat. I'll put that in my list.
Have wings on, painted on it. You know.
So a couple of things. One, I think the name's super cool. I love it. And I have to mention that Abby, especially, but Abby and I, we both love lists. And I'm going to let Abby expand on this a little bit. I think you should tell her the first number one in the list. It's a great thing.
The best list on the list. Oh my God.
I make lists for everything as well, like daily, weekly, monthly. But the first thing on each one of my lists is to make a list. So when I'm done with that list, you immediately something off.
Amazing.
Instant productivity.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, we have them taped to the walls. Like
that's like making your bed first thing in the morning. So it's
nice. I wrote a book that is just lists.
What?
What?
I saw you. Didn't you write poetry, right? I saw you.
I do.
Written like 12 poetry books or something.
I've written a few of them, yes, and 2 of them are only lists.
That's great.
And then I have another contemporary of mine. Her name is Chelsea Bayouth. She does it too, but just totally different than how I do it. She's done a few. I think she's done a book of lists as well, but she does a lot of poetry that's just like you said, like I like almonds, like shit like that.
Yeah.
And it's like all the things like that. It's very cool.
Yeah. I actually added to one yesterday because I was in a bathroom and I hate employees must wash hand signs. They just like throw off the vibe every time.
Those are so necessary. I don't love them either, but
they just
you shouldn't wash your fucking hands.
You should just do it. Like, what do you need this little sign? And it's just the fact that they're also like mandatory, I think just bothers me. It's just like the symbol of our government being annoying that this is even like necessary right now.
Yeah, okay. I see where you're coming from now. At first I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So how does
we derail? I don't know.
So were you making a list of things you don't like?
I just added it to my seashells as decor is also on that list.
I was gonna say, was it hyper specific of bathrooms? Like things I don't like about public bathrooms.
No.
Yeah.
Must wash hand signs, any seashell decor.
Yeah.
Empty toilet paper rolls. You know.
Yes. Well, that's one for sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well, what's your tactic with list writing?
I'm like, I always make lists of things. I think I also grew up in a generation where it's like before the internet, before you could really put yourself out there, me and my buddies were just like, what's your 5 favorite movies? You know, what's your 5 favorite punk rock albums? What's your 5 favorite hip hop albums? You know? And so my life has just been defined by lists, you know? And I think that just kind of translated down the line.
Oh, actually, I saw on your website you did one of like the top 10 band names.
We did,
I thought it was good. I was glad Flaming Lips was on there because that's on there for me. Talking Heads wasn't on there though, and I feel like.
Yeah. They were like
otherwise,
were they the first verbing the noun thing? You know what I mean? Like blank, blanking, blank, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're the first.
Yeah.
They might be. I don't know the answer to that. But I'm so happy you did your research and read our shit and checked us out.
And of course.
Hell yeah. I gotta check that out.
We were proud of that list. We have a follow-up of the worst band names too.
Ooh.
What?
Oh yeah, I gotta get on that.
And I don't fuck it. I'll just say I think I have Hoobastank as number 1.
Nice, yeah. Well deserved.
I think that's the number 1. But it's also just like mainstream. That was another tough thing because there's all these like metal bands with like I'll kill your grandmother on a Thursday, like stuff like that. So it's a tough road. Here's a fun question. If there were a dating app and there might be, I don't know. If there were a dating app for just musicians, what would it be called?
A nightmare. No.
No strings attached.
Oh shit!
That's pretty good. That's for the guitarists.
Yeah, exactly.
String instruments.
Strings attached.
Oh my
Strings
god.
attached. Just strings attached.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wrote musicians mix.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yours better.
What do you, Abby? Do you have one?
Oh, I don't have one. I just
okay.
like Warren's better.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yours is an alliteration though. That's fun. That's
Musicians
good.
mix.
Or maybe it's just muse.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I like that. Muse with like, I don't know, like the E is like looks like a musical note or something. Like it has to be a little more.
I just took your idea and did like the Facebook, and I'm like, drop the.
Yeah. Yeah. Muse. Yeah.
Drop the ishins.
Yeah.
What's the last thing you almost did but gave up on?
Oh shit. That's a really...
Almost did, but thank you.
Well, I'll just say you just birthed a new list. Yeah, because now there will be a fucking Google sheet with things I almost did on it.
I mean, it could be anything. It could be, something grand. Like I was going to buy a car and then I went gambling. Or it could be like I was going to McDonald's and then I went to Chipotle instead.
I literally just ate 2-day-old Chipotle from the fridge.
So she almost had McDonald's. There it is.
I almost went to the bodega with you to get food, and then I was like, no, I'm going to eat this like old Chipotle from the fridge.
Yeah, that's
mine. Yeah.
I almost bought, yesterday, Warren was wearing these like sweet leather pants. So I was late at night last night. I was like, can I just pull off leather pants too? Can I do it? And I literally added it to the cart. It's not a definitive almost yet because I did add it to the cart, but I have this weird conspiracy that if it's in your cart, well, it's not even a conspiracy. It's like a fact. If it's in your cart and the company sees that you haven't like completed the cart and bought it yet, that within a week they'll just send you a coupon. So I think very soon I will be the owner of some leather pants. But as of right now, I almost bought some leather pants last night.
In my day job, so the email you're about to get, like,
that's him.
You're about to get. I see you haven't purchased these leather pants.
Yeah,
go for it. Here's 10% off. That's what I do. I write those emails.
That's amazing. Hell yeah. I love what you do. That's what gets me, you know what I mean? Because I'm just like, let me just see if it comes down a little bit.
Yeah, you're like the pinch hitter,
Yeah.
My job is to make those clever and try to write a lot of puns. So like now I'm like leather puns. Like I'm trying to think of it. It's leather weather. There you go. Boom.
Oh yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like that's what I was thinking. The wind there's still a little biting wind. I could use some leather. I don't know.
Okay. Next question. Did you do show and tell in school when you were a kid? And if so, what's one you remember?
I did show and tell, and I brought my turtle.
What? That's awesome.
It was a red-eared slider. That's the kind of turtles that are taking over Prospect Park slowly.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And we had to also write a speech. It was like combined like practice giving speeches and showing and telling.
Oh my god.
And I remember the turtle was like slowly walking across the desk. So like the whole time I was talking, I had to like bring it back so that it didn't like fall off the desk.
What was the turtle's name?
We had 2 turtles, and I don't remember which one I brought, but one of them was actually called Ellis, like Ellis Island, and the other one was called Rocky. Well, my brother called it Rocky, which I thought was stupid, so I called it Squirt after the turtle from Finding Nemo.
Oh, what? Nice.
Noggin.
I was going to say I hope when I'm a grandfather, like when I'm an older man, that my spirit animal becomes a turtle, because they're just beautiful, patient, sweet creatures. Just had to sneak that in.
I can't wait till you're like, you hit that milestone.
Yeah, it's like, I'm a turtle now.
Wait, today's the day. Today's the day.
Seriously.
I'm just picturing a turtle in like really old leather pants.
Yes, what kind of thing? Well, I should make a damn list, because if there's something I want to do, but just like feel like I don't have the time or the patience to do, I'm like, I have an old man, like when I'm an old man list, like learn to competently play jazz on an upright bass. It's the most beautiful thing to me, but it's like when I'm an old man and I have nothing else to do, that's what I'm going to do. So I have a new list. But as far as the show and tell thing, mine's just some basic shit. Like I bought in my guitar when I started playing guitar and was like, everyone's going to think I'm cool. And for like 2 days, I was the coolest dude in town.
I was going to say, man, that is super cool.
I know. I should have like really capitalized on it. But I don't know, it's funny. I always like kind of downplayed it, and even still like in my family or around other people, I don't like love being the music guy. Probably because they just assume I'm broke as hell, and they're like, "Oh, don't worry, we'll pay for it." But yeah, that was my intro. That was like the first time I remember being like, "I'm a musician," and trying to like wear it on the sleeve and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was my first show and tell.
Also,
My laugh.
there's a fine line between like humble musician and like, you know, check this out, and then being a douchebag at a party who's like
Yeah.
playing the acoustic guitar and like
Totally.
kind of messing it up a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. Totally.
Abby, what was your show and tell that stands out?
I think we brought everybody pizza.
Yes.
Way to bribe everyone. I love it.
Yeah. I wish I was in your class.
My parents owned a restaurant when I was
Oh, that's brilliant, actually. I brought in Ghostbusters, a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, because that was
Oh, what? Okay.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Life size?
Ghostbusters.
No, like a tiny one. Yes,
Yeah.
40 feet tall.
Yeah.
Can you swallow pills without water?
Fuck no.
Oh.
I can barely swallow pills with water. I struggle so much. My mom got me a pill splitter, but
Just to.
just to like swallow
Oh my
bigger pills.
God.
But Nick can. It's crazy. I don't know how
I
he does
don't.
it.
That sounds like some shit he would have a random skill at doing. No, I've tried recently. I tried because I had to take some pills and I got on the train and like I had water on me, but just there's something about I just don't like whenever I like eat or drink on the train. I always feel like someone's looking at me like judgingly or something. Especially since COVID, it's just like you can't eat on the train or whatever.
Eating's
So I
a
was just
little
like, no.
weird.
Yeah, it does rub some. I
It's
don't
a
know.
little weird. It's not even rubbing other people. It's just so gross on the
Yes.
subway, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
I
what's
thought-
on?
A family eating crab on the train once.
No.
Before COVID.
Oh,
Even
that's
before
just,
COVID,
That
shit,
makes it
that's
better.
some shit.
But yeah, it was like a whole family eating crab. I also
that's
saw
just classy.
Yeah, yeah, they had bibs on and shit. Yeah,
brought their own like dining car.
yeah.
I saw a guy eating a salad once on the train, and then I was like kind of disgusted, and I was like looking at the salad, and then I looked up and I knew the guy.
Oh my
Oh,
god. You're like,
that's
hey, dude.
hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. There was two things I was going to say, and I kind of lost track. But this I don't know if you're noticing, some of these are based off your song titles.
Yeah, I was grabbing
Yes,
that.
I went with the swallow. That's
Yeah,
good.
and the show / tell.
I knew
Yeah.
that one for
Yeah,
sure.
there
Yeah.
we go.
Do we have
Come
another
on.
one off the title? Is there another one? Did I miss one?
I think so.
That's cool. I like that. That's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yes, we do. It's further down, but we'll get there.
Okay.
And then I have to tell the story. I think Abby's heard this before. The craziest shit I've ever seen on the subway. I was on the 6 train going downtown, and I remember I'm just minding my own business before iPhones, like whatever. So I'm just like reading a book or something, and this man gets on, normal looking white dude. And when I had gotten on, I had noticed M&Ms all over the floor. And this guy sits next to me, and he's just casually reaches down one by one, eating the
No.
M&Ms
What?
off the floor. The craziest shit was, it was one by one. That's what I
He
couldn't
didn't
wrap
gather
my
them.
fucking head around. He didn't like gather them. And also, all I wanted was a little solidarity. I wanted someone on the other side. I wanted this.
Just to be like, yeah.
Like, that's all I wanted. And
That's bonkers.
Yeah.
isn't that
That's like-
bananas?
That's kind of
Yeah.
crazy. Whenever I hear about people doing really crazy shit, it just makes my mind want to be like, where did he go after that? What's his apartment look like? Who's he friends? You know what I mean? Because whoever does
so
that,
much.
I don't chill with people like that often. So I'd like to think, maybe Warren or Nick does shit like that. But I'm like, what's the rest of this dude's story? You
Yes. I
Well,
think
you're-
that's a creative in you.
know?
We were chatting like a while back about like the grossest thing that you did pre-COVID.
Oh, that like.
Mine is not eating M&Ms off the floor.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I mean, like broadly, I was like a 10-second rule person. Like 5-second rule, I think that's just a little too tight. You know, it takes sometimes 5 seconds it's just not that long of a time.
Yeah.
You guys are hitting out. There's a New York comedian named Joe List, and he's very funny. He just came out with a special, and there's like 4 things you just said in the special.
Oh, for
And
real?
so, yes, shout out Joe List.
What's up,
Go
Joe
watch
List?
his special.
What if we were writers for him?
Yeah,
It's on
funny you
YouTube.
mentioned that. Yeah.
And it's free and it's very fun. And
Oh,
this
cool.
episode brought to you by Joe List.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's go to poetry. What's the last poetry you read, appreciated, loved, whatever?
Oh, I just read something by a poet that I hadn't known before. It's in my list.
Oh my God, this woman in the list, man. I like the list, but without them, who are you even?
Exactly. That's what's so messed up.
I can't say I don't know any poetry that I've read recently. Growing up, I was always a fan of the William Carlos Williams stuff.
Nice.
But I think I need to get more into it. And again, hopefully it hasn't made its way to my old man list, but I've been making a point to like read more and do stuff like that. I get so like music and tunnel vision music that I'm like not, seeing what else is around. Do you have any recommendations for poetry to read other than yours, which I already know I'll like?
No, I would never recommend mine. Mine. I'm gonna think and go to Abby on this, because this is overwhelming. It's like, what's your favorite music? It's like, oh fuck, where do I go?
Yeah, I don't even know music anymore. Yeah.
I love Bukowski and Frank O'Hara. Those are the people I steal from the most.
Yeah.
I love who was I reading recently? I don't know. Now I'm blanking right now.
Yeah. Arthur Rimbaud was the guy,
Oh,
Rimbaud, I think, that I recently was like, whoa, I hadn't, and I did like a little deep dive and found some pretty cool stuff there. And then I really like Rilke, but I think I have like kind of basic taste in poetry, like general Pinterest page level, like, because I think both of those people are pretty well known.
I don't know how to say his name either. I don't know if it's Rimbaud or Rimbaud.
Rimbaud, yeah.
It's I don't think he's basic at all. I don't think
Okay.
Yeah.
19th century
You're not basic. Yeah, no.
French poet, gay French poet is basic at all. So you're also, speaking for all of us here, I think if people are reading anything, it's a good thing.
Yeah, totally. That's like the idea. I don't even care when I do start reading poetry. I don't even care like necessarily what it is. Just be like something. It's almost poetry for me, because I've never been like a big consumer like of the medium in general. Not for any reason in particular. I guess it just doesn't sing to me as much. But it's one of those things where like just doing it, or the act of doing it, or like if you agree with one thing or you relate to one image or line in the poem, it's just like kind of doing it is half of it. It's not necessarily the material itself, but it's like I'm reading poetry, so I'm like already in a mindset or open to something that I wouldn't have been. So I don't know.
Letters to a Young Poet, the Rilke, that like changed my life. Like I go back to that like every once in a while, because it's yeah.
I bought that book at Strand when I was, I think, 24 years old. Yeah, so that has a special place in my heart as well. Something else I wanted to mention: Abby's never been to New York City, and we're doing a live pod there in July, and I'm like making her. I'm like, you can't land before me, because and we're just scaring her with the subway stories.
Oh yes.
Oh no.
Abby, where are you now? Or like, are you based in one place in the world that's not New York, or
Wyoming.
What?
Whoa.
Wyoming?
Mhm.
What? They got internet out there? No, I'm just
Barely.
kidding.
Only a couple of years ago. We're getting plumbing soon too.
That's fascinating. Oh my God, I have so many questions.
Internet before plumbing.
Oh yeah, Jesus. Yeah, they got hot water. They got moving water out there. Oh man.
Mhm.
Lots of water. Where are you guys originally from? The city?
No, I'm from Pennsylvania, like
Yeah.
the middle
Okay.
of nowhere. Yeah, really
Okay.
small.
Yeah. Everywhere in Pennsylvania is the middle of nowhere. No, I'm just kidding. There is Philadelphia, which I had been to for the first time ever, kind of recently. It seems like a nice city and all.
Yeah, we just played a show there.
Yeah, I don't want to alienate people. It's great. It's the best city I've ever been to. That's not New York. But no, I'm originally from Jersey. So me and Nick grew up. And it's funny because Jersey, people who don't really know what's good about New Jersey, they have a picture of New Jersey. And I don't know what to attribute it towards. Is it that if you're flying into New Jersey, it's into Newark, where just because of where it is, there's a smell to that area, like where the Newark airport is and stuff like that?
Yes.
Because it's by the, it's like, I don't know, salt water or some shit. But no, that's not the Jersey me and Nick grew up in. We grew up in like a really woodsy kind of town called Ringwood. So
West Jersey, beautiful. And we've talked
Yeah.
about it a lot on this. We've actually had, I don't know, a dozen New Jersey bands on this podcast. Great music. And West Jersey is beautiful, man.
yeah, it's like a totally different thing. It's probably pretty close
Same
to where
with
you grew up.
Pennsylvania, you know?
Yeah, I don't want to agree with that. I don't like Pennsylvania. No, just kidding. Love
Right.
Pennsylvania. Love Wyoming.
Are the Badlands in Wyoming? Wyoming? What's in
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone? Yeah, okay. I knew there was a big part.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't even know. I just saw one of my favorite things is watching those house shows on HGTV where people are buying houses and stuff. I don't know why. It's just I can't turn it off. And it was in Jacksonville. I didn't know. Jacksonville is not what I pictured. It's kind of on the up and up, right? There's like a lot of new young money and stuff going into Jacksonville. No, that's not the case.
It's Jackson Hole.
Jackson Hole. Oh, God damn it.
It's
I
not
thought
young
that was
money.
like derogatory. Like Jackson Hole. Like it's really Jacksonville, but people call it Jackson Hole as like
No.
um,
We're the most expensive county to live in the country.
oh my God.
Mhm.
Yeah, they even
Bonkers.
they had internet there 5 years before the rest of them did.
Oh, shit.
Just kidding.
That's where I am. Well, that's where I work.
Oh,
It
okay.
sounds
So how did you
beautiful.
guys get hooked up for bothering the band? Because
Well-
you're in LA, right?
No, I'm in Florida.
Don't you see the Orlando Magic thing behind
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
him?
So,
You're in LA.
Abby
and I went to middle school together. We've known each
What?
other since 8th grade.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And just, writing poems and talking bands ever since.
That's where it all
Cool.
began.
Puka shell necklaces.
We should bring those back, by the way.
Oh man.
They're right around the corner.
I gotta
All the
get
90s
it.
stuff is
Yeah.
crap.
Exactly. Yeah, they're definitely going to come back.
Clunky shoes, white athletic shoes are back. Big
Yes.
baggy jeans are back. Oversized t-shirts back. Like it's just
Which,
I have
thank
the
God,
same
because I
wardrobe.
never stopped.
Same here. That's what I said. I
Thank
remember
God.
going to a 90s party in New York in like 2010. And everyone's like, wear 90s stuff. And I was like, oh, that just means I get to wear my regular clothes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That's great. Okay, who is Beverly and who is Lucille?
Oh my God. This shit is so made up. I don't know. It's just a lot of times, like, I can't speak for. I guess Lucille, like, I came to the table with like at least like the bones of the song or whatever, and I just always found that like when you're singing, I guess a lot of people when they write, they just make whatever sounds good. Like famously, like yesterday was scrambled eggs or something like that. So it's just whatever sounds come out, and I guess like I said, like Lucille or something like. I'm like, what's a good name for that? I guess like in the future, now that I know, I'm gonna lie and say like my mom loved Lucille Ball or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, it just sounded good.
Yeah.
You can get more creative than that, though.
Yeah. See, my great grandmother, her sister was no, I should should say something like that.
Yeah. With Beverly, that was kind of sad after Beverly Cleary passed away.
Oh yeah.
I think just the name was in our heads.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like it was something you saw.
Yeah,
something
because
that sounded-
Nick and I, we took a little trip together, and that's whenever Beverly came about, and we had just been talking about her passing away. So I think that's why it was top of mind. But yeah, Nick is like, we have too many like traditionally female names from like the silent generation on one
Yeah.
EP. But
Well, it's funny because like old names just do something to you. It's one of those words you could
Yeah.
just throw out, and if you have like if the context is such that people are thinking you're making like an artistic statement or the whatever it is, the conversation is like that. It just sounds like kind of like profound right away. You're like, Ethel. You'd be like, oh, there wasn't, it's like something from a bygone era, so it says something without, I don't know.
Yeah, but we're big like nickname people, I guess. So whenever I'm talking about those songs, I call them Bevers and Lucille.
Yeah, she always.
Like, we playing Bevers or what?
Yeah, no, you like doing that anyway. I'm a nickname person too,
You
but it's
are.
just the first syllable of their name and then an absurd
Whatever.
name. Like her nickname is Wardante, just because I'm like Warren. What? No, now you're Wardante.
Dante. Yeah.
Nick has his childhood nickname that like his whole family calls him is Nooch. So he's just whatever. He's either Nooch in the band or New. We have a drummer who's Goo. It's just,
Oh, that's funny. I called my best friend's sister growing up Rudy. That's her name's Alicia. And
oh, okay.
I
That's
called
a
her
drum.
Rudy just because of the nonsensical and to this day, I mean, I haven't seen her forever, but I'm still very close with him. And I called his sister Rudy forever till we were grown adults. And I loved when people were like, why do you, well, like, what's the story? And I was like, oh, I just thought it was funny when I was like 16 years old.
Yeah.
The, the complete opposite name. Speaking of names, if what's your favorite song with the name in the title?
Oh shit.
And I have examples if you need them.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that might come in clutch before we call in that card. Hang on, let me see if I can summon it to my head because I thought about that recently.
Ophelia was coming to mind but I don't really like that song.
I love that song.
That they use names really well, I think.
Oh,
actually.
my favorite.
Just every Bob Dylan song ever. Like, it's
Yeah,
half of
yeah.
the Bob Dylan songs.
Oh
And there are a
yeah,
couple
shit.
Beatles
That's
ones too, like Julie,
Lucy
Yeah.
in the Sky with Diamonds.
yeah.
Lucy.
Layla.
Yes. Oh god. I think I know what mine is, and I totally am realizing now that in my subconscious with Lucille, I was probably stealing it. Not like the songs sound the same, but Maybelline by Chuck Berry. Do you guys know that
Yeah,
song?
of course.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
that's because that's one of my favorite songs ever. Period. So that's my answer. What you got?
That's my favorite song
Yeah,
too.
yeah. It's funny that happened.
I don't know.
That's a tough one. We can come back. Think about it. It's
Okay, yeah, let's circle back. I don't have a list for this.
Yeah,
Game over.
Nick's would be a Beatles song. I can say that definitively for him in his absence. He's like a Beatles. He's become a Beatles maniac. So
That's a fun. I like the Beatles as well. My daughter's name is Lennon. And
Aw,
yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
Yeah.
Wow,
That's
that's
a
a
beautiful
really good
name.
name. Oh, Dear Prudence. I love that song.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good call. Good pool.
Yeah.
So is real quick though? Is your favorite Beatle John?
Yeah.
Of
Obviously.
course, that's a right
Hey,
answer.
so glad Nick is in here. This would have sparked a
Yeah.
really long
He's
argument.
a Paul guy, but
Yeah.
I hesitated for a second, but yes, I have to go.
Yeah.
with John.
it's not an easy answer, but you know it when it's
Yeah.
right. You know it in your heart.
She also did the theme song to the podcast. So if you hear the guitar, the small guitar part in the beginning, she did the.
What? Okay. Starting them young, I see.
Awesome.
Huh?
Okay.
Oh, that's so cool.
I'm following that up with a real. These are the questions I like. Okay, would you rather eat Hooters twice a week for a year, or wear a fedora every day for a year? And when people ask you why, you have to say, "I just think it looks nice."
Oh, okay.
Sam would just wear the fedora. I know that.
Yeah, he wouldn't even have. It wouldn't even have to be this or that. It would have to just tell.
I would definitely eat Hooters.
You
Which
can
is
pull off
tough.
a fedora, dude. The shit you wear isn't even that different than that. Where's that hat that you wore to the photo shoot yesterday? She looked showing up looking like LL Cool J Leopard edition. It was. Those are back now too. It's
The
like
bucket hats are back big time.
that's it. Yeah.
Bucket
It's
hats are
woven
back.
out of recycled materials.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sure it is.
Oh,
It's made
shit.
out of like endangered kangaroo or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's illegal to wear it technically. My answer would be just the Hooters one because I can't pull off a fedora. I've never been a hat wear guy. I have this in the back of my head, dude, not to make you scared or maybe you're not scared because I don't know, you're a stronger man than me, but I'm scared of going bald. I've always been told that the more hats you wear, it encourages baldness, or it brings about, I don't know, does something. I'm so scared of being bald. I would never wear a hat, fedora or not.
All right, let's unpack this. How old are you?
I'm 28.
Okay, I think you might be.
You think I'm good?
Clear,
Okay, that's
because it has nothing to do. So first of all, I don't know my father. So when I was like 20, like maybe 18, 19, 20, I remember that was a big fear of mine as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, I'm lucky, you know.
Yeah.
I know plenty of bald friends. However, I don't think it's definitely genetics, man. It is definitely genetics.
Okay.
And I mean, I think you would start seeing some.
That's okay. That's okay. That's what my girlfriend says, but I don't know. She has bad intentions. Like, she's just trying to make me feel good. You know, I don't know if she's trying to tell the truth. I think I'm good as well. I will knock on wood though, just in case I just jinxed it. Just saying.
I also think it's something to do with like testosterone, and when you hit it early, because everyone I know of my friends, like growing up, who was like, oh, they have a beard first, or they have an armpit hair. This is what guys think about when we're 7 or whatever.
Still
like, you know, Brian has a full bush, and you're like, what the hell? Now Brian's got nothing.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's good. I was a late bloomer. I was like, so. It's funny you mentioned that. Yeah, this is what young kids think about. That was like my number one concern in life.
It's
was
a big
my
male concern. It definitely is, because I don't want to generalize, but if you ask 20 women if they prefer a bald man versus a man with a full luscious head of hair, we know what they're picking.
Yeah. Also, man, talking about luscious hair, why are you hiding that majestic hair you got behind? Look at that, man.
It's a little sweaty, man. And
I got you. No, it's all good.
I think I wear a hat. I wear a hat every day.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, some people, it's just like part of the thing. I just could never. I mean, okay, so was there a point, this is interesting to me, was there a point where you were not a hat person, and then one day you're like, I'll throw on a hat, and then it was twice a week, and then every day? Like, how did that come about?
No, ever since I was a kid, I liked I liked hats and baseball hats and stuff like that. And then ever since I work from home, I get to write for a living. I don't have to dress up.
Yeah.
I can wear a hat.
Yeah.
There is a song called, I think it's called "I Love Bald-Headed Men."
Okay, that's what we call propaganda.
I want to say it's not very Stephen Carpenter, but it's someone like that.
Written by a bald man. But
exactly.
Abby's looking it up, so we'll figure it out in a second.
Yeah, for the outro, that'd be a great song. Yeah. It's really good.
We got to use one of your songs for the outro. That's how we do things. All right, we're gonna move it along. Do you know your blood type?
Oh shit!
I always just use the joke from Bruce Almighty.
What's that?
I be positive. I be positive I ain't giving blood.
That's great.
Official first Bruce Almighty reference on this.
I was just gonna say, is there an award that goes along this, man? I love. Well, we were having
books of poetry.
Jim Carrey. Well, she's a Jim Carrey person. We had a Jim Carrey versus
Adam Sandler
argument. Wow. I'm an Adam Sandler guy. If you're gonna put those two in the ring, I'm rooting for Adam Sandler. If only for Big Daddy, because that's one of the greatest pieces of cinema.
That's because you love Dad.
Okay, two things I have to go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I have no idea what my blood type is, so you go ahead.
Abby just found hers out, so that's why I don't know mine. So we're that's why we asked. But two things. One, do you know who Stephen Tobolowsky is?
Oh no, is that one of the dudes that Adam Sandler always has in his films, like one of his friends?
I don't know.
No, okay, I don't know
who this is.
You're in the same vicinity.
Doesn't even sound familiar.
So if you've seen Groundhog's Day, he plays Ned the Head, the guy who bothers him on the street. Needle Nose Ned the Head. Where he's like,
yes, of course.
Oh, I haven't seen that for so long.
So not every episode, but every few episodes we ask a random like B-list actor if someone knows who they are. And I forget who picked this one, but our previous guest picked it. So you can pick the next one.
Oh shit! This is where Nick should be here because I guarantee Nick would have known that person.
Yeah,
for sure.
Seriously, yeah.
He would be able to. Yeah, can we? Can we write it to you? This should be Nick's contribution.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Sure.
Yes, that'd be great if Nick contributed in that stupid
Yes.
Yeah. Well, because he's got that. I'm sure. I don't know. It's like a whole different personality type. Like there's outgoing, introverted, and then the type of people who know the actors that nobody really should know. Like he'll be like, "Who's that one guy?" He's like, "Oh, you're talking about Michael C. Blah blah blah." I'm like, how do you even?
Nick is the best person at trivia I've ever met in my entire life. He's completely incredible to the point where I don't know, like, if he just studies trivia cards on the down low. Like, he's so good at recalling borderline pointless information. But
I don't know. I wish there was a way to study it, because if I ever have a son or daughter, God willing and God forbid, because I don't know how good that would turn out, my child, I'm going to train them to be a trivia master. I don't even know how you do it.
I think it's just in you, because I'm very similar. I don't think I'm that strong at it, but I do know a stupid amount about pop culture.
Yeah.
And music, movies, shit like that, shows. And man, I'll be honest, he's gonna listen. Nick, I wish you were here, buddy. We would have
No, he's so good. Down to, like, you say a random movie and he knows, like, who was in it, who directed it, like.
we're gonna be best friends. We're in New York in July. We're hanging out.
Yeah. So wait, when are you coming?
So our show is July 24th. It's a Sunday. It's at Littlefield in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And we'll send you more as it comes along. We're doing our first live show in LA in less than 3 weeks. And then we're doing one in New York City. Also, excuse to bring Abby to the big bad city.
Yeah. Just don't get there first. That's all.
Yeah, because I want to see her face.
Yeah.
Like when I want to take her to Midtown and they're just out of the subway and be like, here you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Where are we going here? Do you have any inside jokes in the song lyrics?
Oh shit. You guys would know that more than me.
Inside. I feel like we have to.
They're probably, I don't know. One thing we definitely do, if it wasn't an inside joke to begin with, it becomes an inside joke. Like in Show and Tell, Nick has this line that says something about chicken skin, and real silently, me and Warren always hated the lyric. And like we were doing some edit to it right towards the end where we were like, that line was going to be no more just because of it. It was going to be like whatever. And he's like, no, I really love like the chicken skin line. I think it's the best on the whole album. And then me and Warren looked at each other like, we actually hate that line. So now if like Nick like suggests something in a song that we don't like, we're like, you and your chicken skin, just go,
That's pretty cool. Yeah. This is the shit that I think we and fans love, is that right there.
Yeah, that line was hated it, and there's like certain things.
I think. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, if another thing is if it becomes easy, like when you're like, I don't know, working on music, like a lot of the times these ideas can become. It takes you like 15 words to get out what you really wish you could just say in 2. So like I'll also like one of my least favorite. I don't know, whatever. I don't really love the one song. What was it? The second single you guys put out? Like
Charmer?
No, well, yeah.
Lie Heartfelt.
Lie Heartfelt. So if there's like something in the song where I feel like it's kind of like that, I'll just be like, well, let's not pull a Lie Heartfelt right now, guys. And it gets the idea across instead of,
I think one thing, I don't know, there probably are some inside jokes. I need to like think a little more on that. But one thing I do is I like making parodies of our songs, like, almost immediately after we come out of them, and I feel like I always make them like dirty or really dumb.
Yeah.
Like Sound Asleep, I like sing it Sound of Pee. And then for Show and Tell, I was singing like think of all the butt stuff.
Yeah, she's the worst with it. Well, with that song, there's always still like Nick is usually like because he like just where he is in the creative process, he often will like come up with the stuff, and then it's me and Warren's job, I guess. Whether we do it well or not remains to be seen, but like we critique it. So I guess it's always like a tough position to be in where it's just like you come up with something and then it's just like the peanut gallery gets to speak on it. So the one thing he'll put his foot down pretty consistently on is if we say, because we say show and tell, like, oh, what's on the set for tonight? It's like, oh, show and tell, blah, blah, blah. But it's really not show and tell, it's show/tell.
Yeah,
so it'll be like,
really
yeah, no, it's show/tell or show tell. Like, if you say show and tell, he's going to get salty about it.
Oh, Nick, I can't wait for you to hear this. It's like we're talking from the past. Oh, man, that's funny. Do you follow us on Instagram?
Yes.
Great.
I gotta get hit.
This is just a segue for us to be like, tell the listeners, be sure to follow Bothering the Band on Instagram.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
We're shoehorning it in. What color is heaven?
Oh, it's certainly fucking not blue. I don't know where you guys came up with that. There's no fucking way. If I died and showed up and it was blue already, not that I got anything against blue, but it's just not what I'm expecting.
Oh, that's what I changed the lines to that one in my parody to up in the sky. Fuck, what is it? Where it's like, and the clouds feel softer than your grandmother's thighs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I see that.
Oh, man. I love
instead of eyes.
Grandma Ethel's thighs.
Yes, Grandma Ethel.
Bringing it all back around.
If heaven is any color right now, to me it's probably going to be kind of like a Himalayan pink salt color. You know what I mean? Like it's vaguely pink, but if there's not a lot of it, it's kind of clear.
Millennial pink or Gen Z pink?
Oh no!
Oh devils! I love how specific you were with the Himalayan sea salt pink.
It's like, because it's not, heaven is a texture as well as a color, you know what I mean? Because it can't be just one of anything, because you'd come to hate that color.
Says the man who's like, I don't know about poetry. Listen.
Yeah. That's just my whole play. I actually have a book of poetry I'm releasing.
To buy and support.
Yeah, like I will to you. No, I don't know. I guess it also depends on, when I was a kid, I always thought heaven was like sky blue, like a lighter blue. But in my old age now, I think it's pink, Himalayan pink to be specific. It's definitely not yellow. And it's, I would hope, just judging by like, years, like millennia of humans thinking about hell, I would hope it's not like brimstone-ish and red and, but I don't know, maybe it is. Maybe that'll be the last joke I have before I enter the gates, is like, you thought you were at hell just because it's red and burning? No, this is actually heaven.
Plot twist.
It's contrasting colors. Yeah. It's like green and bright orange, and you're like,
oh yeah.
Blue Heaven's a funny song, because actually it started, because whenever Nick and I started working together, like for Knockoff Charmer, Rest Up, like, and Lie Heartfelt, those were like just the two of us, and I wrote most of the lyrics for those, and then he was working with Ken and the guys in Night on the Sun still. And Blue Heaven, we were at my parents' house and during COVID, and they just have a ton of instruments, and they had a banjo. So Blue Heaven started as a banjo song for Night on the Sun.
Yeah. Oh,
so those, Nick will have to comment on those.
Let's have a moment of silence for the banjo Lynn. I almost
the banjo
called it.
Version.
Banjo Lynn.
There's blue heaven there. That's how.
Well, you know what? Like blue, it almost makes sense. It's like awfully Nick to be like Blue Heaven, because he like loves contrast like that, and he's like generally a more sad or pensive guy than I am in my normal waking life.
We recently found out Blue Heaven's name of a bar in Key West, though.
Oh shit, that's down in your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Hey man, you should go check out Blue Heaven, the bar.
I'll see you guys later. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. It is funny. I think, colors are funny, because what's it called? Is it called synesthesia, when like colors like equate to certain other things for a person? I think with colors, like, we should just make the push and make them a little bit more like, if I describe something in a color to a person, they like get it right away, and it's not even like they have to be a synesthete, whatever the noun version of that is. Like, I'll be like, this is kind of like purple, and people just kind of get it more. I think, like, I'm just going to do that and see if I come across like a lunatic, like, let's make the song less red, and I feel like people will get that more.
Except for Taylor Swift.
Except for Taylor Swift. That's right.
We love Taylor Swift here.
I do as well. I do as well.
Really do. Okay, so what's next for Almost Sex? And also tell the folks where to find you, and what's, this is your moment to shine. Not that you haven't been. You guys have been great.
Thank you. Yeah.
So we just put out our debut EP. It's called We're Okay. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your streaming. We are playing we did a mini tour on the East Coast. We hit a couple cities, and we're hoping to do another tour in the fall and put out another EP. So we're not playing many shows right now because we're kind of focusing on writing and being in the studio, and I guess stay tuned for fall. And in July, we'll be hanging out with Bothering the Band.
Yeah, that's what we're doing in the future. July 24th. What's up? Yeah, I think Warren said it all. We're working on new music, and I think we're making a point to try to do a few things that in the past we wouldn't have done. Like there may or may not be a cover of a great American songbook song coming out soon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it should be cool.
What song? Can you say it or no?
Should I not? I'm acting
Speak
like
freely.
we're like Beyonce
Speak
here
freely.
or something. No, we're covering actually Summer Wind, made most famous, I guess, by Frank Sinatra.
Okay.
So which is something that I don't know if it's like a band thing in general or like Brooklyn thing or something, but we've always been like, nah, we don't do covers or anything like that. But I think we're just like, why not? We decided it could sound really cool. We also are horrible at picking covers, so if you guys have any suggestions you want to sneak in, we would love to hear them. But that's something that we're doing. We've been talking about putting out a music video or something that's more in the visual vein, because I think some of our fans that we've talked to have expressed an interest in seeing how we would present ourselves in that medium. So look out for that, because that could be coming soon too.
You should cover Taylor Swift's Innocent.
Oh.
It's an older jam. Very slow, too.
That was, what album was that on? That was the one before Red.
Yes. It was
Okay.
her response to Kanye West, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Rumors have said.
Oh, shit. Okay, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
It's funny being both a Kanye and a Taylor fan. It's like if your parents are fighting, you have to pick a side. You know what I mean? I love them both.
Imagine that child.
Oh my god.
Oh man, they'd be beautiful and talented. That's what.
Yeah. That much
But
is true.
fuck that child.
That song came from Speak Now.
Oh, okay. Good call. Everyone follow Almost Sex on Instagram. It's almost.sex. Man, I'm sure you've gotten a lot of dumb questions about that.
Yeah, it's I kind of embrace it now, you know what I mean? We've had a going joke where it's like, oh no, we're full sex now,
Yeah.
we're full frontal.
Nearly intercourse was
Yeah, that was one.
Give a dot in there. Could you be like almost period sex?
Oh shit, yeah, that's legit. Yeah, if the love is there.
That is such a great way to end this episode. Also, this is my last question. Who here has to pee? 'Cause I do. I gotta pee so bad. Guys, thank you so much. We missed Nick, but man, it's been so fun. This for real. This has been a blast, and we love your tunes. We literally picked you guys because we like this band. So
thank you so much.
That means so much. Thank you.
Yeah, seriously.
Time was never on our side. Lucille, goodbye. Lucille, goodbye. Lucille. Oh, I think I better write. Gonna be someone else tonight. And after all these conversations, I really should be thankful it's the end. 'Cause all you want is someone easy to laugh with, fighting off all of your strangest disease. This time was After all these complications, I really should be grateful it's the end. Sifting through all of your summer companions, waving out from on the platform to me. 'Cause time was never on our side. Lucille, goodbye. Lucille, goodbye. Lucille, and I was never gonna cry until goodbye, Lucille, goodbye, Lucille. Mind your descent, call me a friend. Oh, it's gonna be alright. I'll let you bend, we'll be again out into the grace of night. This time was never on our side. Lucille, goodbye. Lucille, goodbye. Lucille.